of yourself?
Yeah.
Live on Facebook.
All right. And here we are.
Maybe you can charge yourself like the battery of the smartphone, you know.
Oh, we
Instead of
do.
eating, you just charge yourself. And
That's the same energy we're using. When I explain it, you're going to find out.
great.
I'm glad he brought that up. So shalom, shalom, everybody. Hakol Beseda.
יש מישהו שצריך תרגום חוץ מ...
It's good to be here in wonderful Israel. And do you need to translate?
Yes, sometimes.
All righty. Hey, shalom. And this is my second time here. I came in July, and I came to Amarim through Adva. And I met wonderful people, so I always make it a chance. Every chance I get in Israel, I got to come back here. This is a good community. And I think this is the oldest vegan community in Israel. Am I right?
Yes, I think so.
So that's awesome. Got a history behind it, good energy. And it's up here away in the hills, good energy, and that's what it's all about. So here I am again here in Israel, and tonight I'm going to talk about the unified chakra, dealing with light and sound. Now chakras, we've heard about those. Those are energy centers in the different texts, and they say we got 7 major chakras. But now, since we're in the age of talking about living on prana, these chakras must become unified. That's why it must be taught now. Now, to catch you up to date on who I am, my name is Elitam Elamine, and I live on prana. They call that a breatharian, and that's a person that can eat very little or none at all. Now, when you first hear that information, even when I first heard it, somebody said, I know people who don't eat at all. And I said, what? Let me go see that information. But as I saw it and looked at it, and this was over 19 years ago, and I saw the different processes they was going through, it didn't seem far-fetched anymore, because I was already living a lifestyle of a holistic lifestyle. There was a time I was overweight, my health was bad, and I had to do something about it. So I started changing my diet, lightening it up. I started learning more about fasting. I started learning more about live and raw foods, eating more foods that's not cooked. And I seen all these improvements come on my body. But then I learned about meditation and the power of it. And even before I learned about food freedom, oh, let me slow up.
Yeah, thank you.
We got our translator taking place. Yeah, I'm gonna,
You speak and then stop and then...
right, I'll give them enough time to translate. That was my fault.
לתרגם לכולם. יש מישהו שאולי יותר טוב ממני באנגלית?
בסדר, אני מבין.
אני חושב שלקלוט את הפרנה ממנו זה מספיק טוב, לא צריך את המילים. To get your prana, we don't need the words, it's just your energy.
That's it, the unified chakra. That's it, the consciousness. So when I first found out about living on prana, I made all these health improvements before I even learned about being food free. So when I found out about it, it wasn't really far-fetched for me. In my mind, I said I can pull this off due to all the improvements already made in my life. I lost weight, the blood pressure went back in how it's supposed to be. I really felt good about myself. Then I found out about living on prana. So then I went into it. I said, I'm going to pull this off. So day 1 went easy. Day 2 went easy. Man, I'm food free. I don't need to do this. Day 3 went easy.
Not even drinking?
And not even drinking. Now keep in mind, before I went into this, I told you that I was fasting once a week, you know, in my lifestyle, back then when I found out about it. So when I fasted once a week, I did it without no eating or drinking, just 1 day a week. Now that was before I even learned about being food free. Now to tell you about...
Where did you live then?
Oh, Ohio, USA.
No, then or now?
Oh, then.
Ah, then also.
Right. Now I'm a nomad.
No, homeless.
I'm homeless.
But originally you are from
Ohio, USA.
Originally?
Originally.
You were born there?
Yes. All right. Hey there. So, now I'm glad you brought that up because it'll be going, I'd have taught this so many times, it's like where I begin, and the people start directing me. Now I'm glad she brought that up without drinking also. Now when I started just fasting, this is the importance of fasting. The first time I put that in my lifestyle, I did it for religious reasons. I was a part of a Hebrew community that I met in America, and their requirement was to fast on the Shabbat. That was their policy. So I said, great. So I went into it on that level. But then I started learning the health benefits from it, or how it was benefiting me in my life by giving the system a rest. Now when I first started fasting for 24 hours, it was hard. I couldn't wait till the fast was over. And then over a period of time, I said, I know how to figure this out. I went and ate my favorite meal at the restaurant before I went on the fast. And then after the fast was over, I made sure to eat my favorite meal at the restaurant again. But I was just proud that I did 24 hours. It was hard, it was tough, but I made it. Over a period of time, it didn't take long. All right, got room for everybody. Over a period of time, it didn't take long for my body to get used to that one-day fast. And how I figured it out is one day, a friend of mine, we was talking, and we was having a conversation we really enjoyed. And usually when I was fasting for 24 hours, when it was time to go eat, I'm at the restaurant waiting for that restaurant to, waiting for my fast is over. So now, we're in this good conversation, and I looked at my watch and said, man, I'm supposed to be eating, my fast is over. But we were so much into this conversation we really enjoyed, I forgot about eating. Ever since then, my fast on that 24 hours became easy. And that's before I even learned about food freedom. Now, going back to when I went into it, when I learned about food freedom, and I'm on day 3. Day 1 went easy, day 2 went easy, and here come day 3. Now, day 3 was going easy. Then all of a sudden, my sister came to the house with these big boxes of chocolates. She was doing a fundraiser for the Girl Scouts. And she said, can I leave this box of M&Ms here? And I said, why, sure. So she put them in the corner, and I'm still doing my pranic living. I said, I'm a breatharian now. This is the 3rd day. This is easy. So I'm watching TV, and pretty soon I kept looking at the box of chocolates. Watching TV, looking at the chocolates. To make a long story short, the next day I woke up, I had all of these chocolates all over me. My mind just lost it. I just kept eating, blah, blah, blah. So that's when I realized that this isn't as easy as I thought it was. It wasn't so much the physical body and its conditioning. It's the mind, the way we're thinking, the program that we have. Coming from a lifestyle of eating 3 meals a day, or the way we eat now, you have to eat or you die, that program is going through all the body. So even when I was fasting once a week and it became easier, I started mowing the yard on the day when I was fasting, no eating or drinking, it got easy. So then, I still didn't know about living on prana fully, but I was actually living on prana. Your health started improving, your sleep started decreasing, and you have more energy. So, my whole thing of this process was to reprogram the mind. I understood this. Now, there were some favorite foods that I really enjoyed, and I had to be honest with it. Sometimes we have good intentions, I'm going food free, but if you like to eat or you like to eat certain foods, that's still in you, and that's okay. Because you got to keep in mind, if you try to suppress something, it's going to come out eventually, and it's going to make your walk a lot harder. So my favorite foods was avocados and those Frito corn chips. Those are my favorites. Anything else I could let go, but I had to have those. So, what I did was I enjoyed myself with the avocados and the Fritos. I didn't suppress it. And that's why I recommend people to do now. Some people, when they find out about food freedom, they want to put tape on their mouth and act like they never want to eat again, and it does not work like that. Now keep in mind that meditation is the foundation of this also. The meditation that I was into, even before I learned about food freedom, I gained a great influx of energy by learning about my energy centers in my body, connecting them, running them with my mind. And the more that the energy centers in your body do not have blockages, your health will automatically better itself, even if you're still eating. Uh-oh. So through meditation, if you are a meditator and you don't know nothing about it, learn about energy flow and learn about using it as a tool to open up your energy centers to better your health. This is a health message living on prana. Not eating is a byproduct of a desire that you'll have if you want that type of experience. Does that make sense so far? It's not a forced event at all. Now, talking about the unified chakras, there's something in the mind that's holding all of humanity back from any type of ascension. What is it? It's invisible, but we don't know what it is. What it is in the way our thinking is. It's in our language, and we don't understand it. Due to the society we're in, oh yeah, we got more chairs up there. Due to the society we're in, when I mean by language, it don't matter if it's English, it don't matter if it's Hebrew, it don't matter if it's German. All languages are doing the same thing. We're using language as a tool to put things in division in parts. We divide things with our language. And what happens is it divides our thought process to put it into duality. Now keep in mind that in most spirituality doctrines on the planet, they're talking about this oneness. Everything is connected. But now even science is saying that also, because when it first started exploring physical matter, breaking it into bits and pieces, then it started going to the molecular structure, then it started going to the atomic structure, then the subatomic particles. Now they got a thing called string theory. Uh-oh. And now they're just saying, using a term called black energy and dark matter. Dark energy and dark matter. But what this is going with is there's a consciousness that connects everything. A unified consciousness that connects everybody with everything. So your thought process has to change. It become more unified. Uh-oh, that's where the great work is at, of being food free. Or bettering your health. Give you an example. Usually when I teach food freedom, the more a person is educated with nutrition, usually it's harder to make the transition. Because nutrition, again, or the education, has taught you how to divide things. Where do you get your vitamins and minerals? I don't know what a vitamin or mineral is. So the more ignorant I was, the more that I tapped into the unified frequency. Uh-oh. So again, it's just like there's a guy named Wim Hof. Any of y'all heard about him, the Iceman? To swim up under the Arctic and stuff. He kind of said the same thing in his breath work and how he's perfected that. The more uneducated he was in breath work, which he's glad he was, the more he's able to make educated finds on what it can do. So it's our mind that's holding us back. Our last program we was given, you must eat or die, or you must eat 3 meals a day, is a program that has to be broken. Even veganism was once under attack. There was a time because that was a new program. No eat meats or don't eat no animal byproducts. But the program of the people said, you must get protein from eating animals. You must. Now, it took a time for that new program to gain dominance. But now it has dominance on the planet whether a person don't want to do it or not. Now it's a fact that you can live a full life without eating no meat and no animal byproducts and be healthy. But that new program went through trials and error and it got beat up on. Now you got this living on prana. We have to understand that we are light and sound beings. The only thing you see is light. You looking at me now, you're looking at a reflection of light and sound that's coming back at you. That's all you're looking at. We're living in it. And we don't understand what we're living in. We have connection to all these forces of energy. We got the equipment, which is our physical bodies, but now we have to learn how to start utilizing it and making the body stronger working with these forces, just like lifting weights. So being food free isn't an overnight thing. This isn't far-fetched. It isn't spooky. We're not trying to pull your leg. When you work with yourself energetically, you will get stronger energetically. In the religious circles and spiritual circles, they just say spiritually, you'll be spiritually stronger. But we're using the same words and we're bringing it down to earth now. So on this journey again, living on prana, I even found out more, the more and more I teach, the easier it becomes. Food is just 10% of what you have to deal with. Do you know that relationships, both personal, both at work, is actually nourishment? There's energies that can drain energy from you, and there's also places that you can live and people you're around that will give you more energy. This all goes with the package. This is a pranic lifestyle. So once you start waking up to this, your nourishment is now to put yourself in a situation. You have to create this because you're the creator of your life. This is going to be more nourishing and give you more vitality. That's nourishment. That's what's keeping us alive, the backbone. And the food part of it. Now let's go into food freedom. So this won't be far-fetched. I don't teach people to leave food alone altogether. What it is, you're going to eat your way to food freedom. Uh-oh. Absolutely. First of all, you have to break those old belief systems of what keep you healthy, what gets this, carbohydrates, this, that's all. All diet changes is a belief system. The ultimate truth that's keeping us alive is the unified consciousness that we all have access to. So when you start thinking more unified, you're going to find yourself becoming more whole and more one with the universal forces. There was just an example a couple of days ago. I was over at a friend's house here in Israel. They grabbed some tea. They asked me, did I want something? I said, no. But then they started telling me everything that the tea is supposed to do. That's what they did.
So we do.
Right. That's what they did. And they started drinking it. Then we started having this conversation. What is your secret on living on prana? I said, there's no secret. It was just in your language again. Remember I started out talking about language? When I looked at the tea, I just saw tea. If I wanted to drink the tea, it'd be because of experience. It'd be because I want to see what it tastes like. That's the only thing going through my head. In her head, the reason why I'm drinking this tea, she split it up in parts. It's supposed to work on your intestines. It will do this. It will do that. She commanded the tea and gave it power on what it's supposed to do, compared to the power I gave it. So your mind actually, through your intent, gives things power. That's why in all meditations, especially when it's dealing with just watching your thoughts, that the mind exercise ones, all you're doing is watching the thoughts, whether it's good or bad, you're just watching them pass by. Because thoughts are just energy, but it's your intent to give them the power. So you just want to start letting them flow past, and the thoughts will start pulling themselves down, and you want to start having more mind mastery of yourself and stop giving certain thoughts and ideas the power. It has no power over you. So now when you start eating, first of all, you'll go through phases of breatharianism. The first phase they call conscious eating. And that's a level where you know that that light is not giving you life no more. I don't care if it's organic orange juice. It's just an experience. I don't give you life. You are a unified consciousness. Now you even got to start correcting yourself. I was talking to another guy in the language. He was talking about, I went through the pranic part of it, and he started talking about his physical body, how it feels. He said, now I got to work on my mental body and my emotions. Now listen at the language again. He started splitting himself up. That's how powerful this consciousness is. I said, stop it. The physical body is your emotional body. It is your mental body. I'm looking at your mind and your emotions. When you start getting on that level of thought, you are a spirit. You're looking at a light beam. I'm looking at a light beam. That changes the difference on how the energy is going to start flowing. It might seem simple, but this is just that real. We are cutting ourselves up in pieces due to the way we're talking and due to the way we're thinking on the intent that's coming out. When you start looking at another person, that's a reflection of yourself. Now you start taking it real. That's an external part of your soul, and when you start making this connection and really be sincere about it, it brings forth another frequency. It brings forth another energy of nourishment. You have no enemies no more. The universe is user-friendly. We are the creature that's receiving, and it is doing the will to bestow. The cosmic energies is raining on us both night and day. It's doing its part. The part we need to do now is have self-knowledge on how to utilize the best out of it possible. Because don't you want the best life as possible? Best health, best wealth, best happiness, best relationships. That's the pranic lifestyle. That's the pranic journey. And the more you become one with this force, the more you will feel less hungry, no thirst, and it will take you on and on and on where you can have another type of experience. Wow. It's way past the food part. It's a thought process of how we use this consciousness. It's a unified consciousness that connects everything, but it's us who's separating ourselves from it due to our thinking. Is this making sense now? Now in the beginning, it's going to be some work. Nobody's arguing that. We're professional eaters. You've been doing it all your life. You've been thinking the way you're thinking all your life. It will seem like work. But the thing to do is stay consistent within the work. That's why this is called the great work. All the time, and it happens, somebody will come, do a video on YouTube, and talk against breatharianism because of their experience. And I'm listening at them talk, and what they're saying is the truth, is their experience. The gateway they came in, the reasons why. But it's a shame but what they're saying is, hey there, it's one thing to give your experience, but it's a one thing for you to block the whole unified consciousness just because if you can't do it, I guess nobody else can do it. It's sort of like when we look at the external technology. There have been many failures before this cell phone or this internet that we're using came about. We take the life for granted, but there was many failures before somebody figured it out on what to use for the right conductor, what to use to put this together. So it's the same way with the breatharian knowledge. From when it came out until now, really up to the masses, it is growing on the way it's taught. Is that making sense? Because when it first came out, they was using words like, you're being sustained by the energy of love. Okay, what is that? We don't even know what that is. One minute we fall in love, the next minute we don't love them no more if they don't do what we say. So, so that's where we at. So it was taught in a far-fetched frequency. But now I'm glad where we're at because the information and knowledge has increased because the knowledge of the West and the knowledge of the East is meeting. Right now you got intermittent fasting that's on the scene. You got much scientific research talking about the benefits of fasting. You got much research talking about energetic foods or what will give you the highest quality. We got YouTube, what many people tell you about the benefits of cleaning themselves out with water, juice fasting. So you got all of this in your corner now to better yourself health-wise. Now when you deal with the pranic information, from when I started 19 years ago, there wasn't that much information out. Now we got more information than ever. You don't have to go and blame it on saints that you don't know if they ever lived or not. And say, I knew they was living on prana, but you never met them. You got people that's walking around right now who can show you, give you information, not only myself, but others. There's some people jumping on the bandwagon. You don't have that in everything. But try the information, and this is why this is called self-realization. This is a holistic health message. The more you strengthen yourself holistically, energetically, you will see this for yourself, and you don't need to depend on a teacher. Do not follow the teacher, follow the information. Yes, it benefits you to be in clean air. That's not even an argument. Yeah, this air cleaner. I feel better. Waking up, start doing the exercise routine in your life. You know, stuff like that. That's the pranic lifestyle. So it's not far-fetched. It's not teaching you no deep secrets. But it's all dealing with our consciousness again, and that's what's going to take the work. Now, not rushing yourself. What did this mean? When I had that love affair with avocados, and that's what it was a love affair. I loved them. And the thing about it, I could be watching TV or something, and they'll show an avocado commercial. 3 for $5. Oh, I gotta go, and I'll be up, going to go get the avocados. It didn't matter. I had to have that love affair. So, as time went on, one time I tasted an avocado, and it just didn't taste the same no more. Then I tasted another one that didn't taste the same no more. So what I realized was that my body now, due to staying consistent with the meditation, staying consistent with the holistic lifestyle, and the knowing, your body is letting you know we're over with this love affair now. It's sort of like you got this lover that you know they're kind of bad for you, but you got to say your last goodbyes. Sort of like Jesus' Last Supper. So once that was over with, it was time for me to move on. And I knew it. Everything was good, and there was no hard relationship taking place. And that's what people's problem is. They got a hard relationship. They're trying to break away to be something they don't know what they're going to be, and you don't need to do that. This isn't about beating up on yourself. Now, the ways to apply prana. There is different phases of life. Like my son, he's 19, and he went through the process, but I don't expect him to deny himself of the experiences of life, because this is what it's about. You want to have a full life. So you can explore yourself eating different foods, and now it has a whole different ring to it, because it's not for survival levels now. You know to keep health in the forefront. This is the unified chakra, the unified thought process. Now, let's go over the chakras. All right. Your 7 major chakras do have indications in a person's behavior if they're open or closed. But once you get past that point of understanding your responsibility for keeping them all open, now it's your responsibility to just make them unified on the way you think. Because what leads you into going food-free and drink-free, I'm going to tell you what it is, and it's going to be really realistic. In science, we got our 5 senses. So what they're doing is they're measuring the physical universe using their 5 senses. There's nothing wrong with that. That's what you're doing. We made great improvements in that. Measuring things on the eyes, the sight. But in spirituality, the practitioner must open up a 6th sense. What is this 6th sense? We ain't going to make it spooky no more. Well, it's a feeling state that you're in. When you start understanding your electromagnetic field that comes off the physical body, and this is why I'm glad that the West met the East now in this knowledge. Right now we got equipment that can show you this electromagnetic field. See, back 50 or 100 years ago, it was hard for somebody to tell you that. It was just spirit, and the person just had to believe. Today, this is a good day that we're in, because this is easy knowledge to teach. Everybody got this field that's coming off of them, this electromagnetic field. All physical matter does. And I'm glad Adva brought up that this guy, he got this Curlian photography. We're going to play with that when I leave from here, taking pictures of our electromagnetic field. And everybody got one off. It changes all the time due to what you eat, due to what you're thinking, due to the stress in your life. And through meditation, this is a wonderful thing about it, you can balance it out. That's why you always hear these things, chakra balancing, opening up your chakras. But you do have energy centers on your body. So through meditations, and staying consistent with it, you can start now doing an upkeep on yourself. That's what it's for. To make sure that your energy channels is running smoothly. Now, dealing with this electromagnetic field and dealing with food freedom. When you're on this path, this is what makes a practitioner on a pranic path different from a scientist of the world, because this is a science. This isn't no belief system at all. You must do the work to understand energy flow in your body and open it up. I'm going to tell you that straight up. If you don't feel like it with procrastination, you're not that type of person, can't follow through with things, food freedom just isn't for you at that time until you build up that type of endurance. Because perfect health is time management. We got the same time every day, but it's what you're doing with your time. And when I found out back when I was overweight and got sick, I was under a thought process to take care of everybody else because I was a minister in the church, and I was letting my own vessel go. And I started going down, and you can't take care of nobody if you don't take care of yourself. So what I had to do in life is reverse that. I put myself as number one, and I can help everybody else. That's how it works. This is the number one health. And the first thing to my process was, it wasn't so much of a diet change or exercising. That wasn't it. It was when I made up in my mind, I went and got a job one day that was not stressful. That was just me. And I said, if the money from this job can afford what I need, I guess I don't need it. I'm putting myself first. I had to put my feet down. This is where it's at. And when I did that, that's when I had time to work on myself first, and I was able to do a lot more in the world and also for people. I wish people could catch this concept. You go too much from your center, you can find yourself really getting compromised of what really gives you life. See, this is the real house you live in. When you get evicted from here, you're out of here. The other house don't mean a hill of beans. This is the real vehicle. So when you start understanding coming back to this is what living on prana, that's the first initiation right there. So going back to this, opening up these energy centers, and we're going into the 8th chakra, and building this 6th sense is when you start understanding it's your responsibility to keep your energy open and flowing. That opens and puts you up into a feeling state, more intuition. We all have it, because you're in this universe that's nourishing all of us. You're in it. So what this 6th sense does was, when I'm sitting there enjoying my avocado, I had this love affair. You could be easy on yourself. Then that feeling state came in to where, what am I doing this for? This don't taste good no more. That's the 6th sense. You're becoming more aware. It's time for me to move on to something else. And then you go through this time and time again. So when you're on the breatharian path, you will go through a stage of conscious eating. And that's a stage where you know that's not giving you life, but you still can enjoy yourself. You don't have to avoid yourself from your family, your friends. People do that all the time. They have a bad experience dealing with the pranic journey. Your body will get rid of that. You still can taste foods and do like this until you better organize your life on what you want to create. Am I making myself clear? Because a lot of people, they don't understand this again. They're separating themselves from their families and stuff like this in the name of spirituality. And that's not what it's about. This road should be fun, enjoying, and you should grow and it should be happy. That's nourishment. Is this making sense? I got a good communication with my family. Now, didn't start out like that, but again, you stay under this unified force and understand where everybody's at, and there's work to do, because everybody else is a good extension of yourself, and pretty soon that unified force is the most powerful force around. It always wins over duality, but somebody got to make the stand for it. Is that making sense? So as I'm going on the journey, certain foods I start liking, enjoying and stuff like this as I'm going on the journey. Knowing that don't give you life, I had a good time. But due to that sixth sense, that feeling state, it will let you know when it's time to graduate from that. You don't have to push yourself. It'll say, I don't feel good with this no more. That's how you start feeling, because it wants to feel healthy. Your body wants to feel healthy. It feels different when you're breathing, when you got a full stomach compared when you don't. So when you start experiencing that time and time again, you will automatically rotate to a new desire, a new feeling state. But just give yourself time. But those other things, like I said, you must stay consistent with these meditations. Get consistent, I'm not trying to be hard with that either. You got to go every day, 2 hours a day. No, it isn't that either. Now, you said a good statement when I first came in here about charging up like the cell phone. That's a great analogy that he used. You are basically charging up with the same energy that uses the cell phone. Now, I'm not saying you can put your finger on the light switch. That's not what we're saying. This is a bio machine. This uses energy, and that's why we eat in the first place. That's an energy. It's just more at a denser form. What you're doing on the pranic journey is you are going towards utilizing other forms of energy that you're already using. You're just unaware of it on the impact that it has in our life. Like, for instance, right now your intestines is your primary digestive system if you're eating all the time. It's the primary. Your lungs is your secondary. There's nothing wrong with that. That's just the way you're functioning at the time. When you start coming more into the pranic state, your lungs is going to become your primary, and your intestines is going to become your secondary. You're breathing more than just oxygen, nitrogen, hydrogen, argon, and water. Absolutely. We live in a good age because there's so many different breath exercises out there that will give you more energy, clear up the body, breathing more in the abdomen that will clear up blockages. You have access to this because you breathe every day by your nature. You got the sun, that's free energy. The sun does so much for us, and when I say the sun, just say if you live way up north, and some people say, well, the sun isn't hardly much up here. Let's go back to energy fields again. Not only we got an energy field coming off our body, we live in an energy field of the sun. So no matter where you at, whether it's summertime or wintertime, the energy is still there. When I made my transition, I lived in Ohio, USA, in Ohio. Had its winter times, and I was experimenting back then. And then in the wintertime, energy's still high. Whoa, this is high. You know, meditating. Summertime, they're different, but still the same. The body is not stupid. It knows how to adjust to the atmosphere that you live in. So we can't use that as excuses no more. So everywhere I can be sustained on prana, whether it's the U.S., Africa, Europe, here in Israel, it doesn't matter. It's everywhere. And it's raining on us both day and night. This is a given now. And these are free energies. You don't have to buy it. You don't have to buy the breath you're breathing. You just have to know how to use it. Not yet. Well, somebody's trying to figure it out, huh? You don't have to pay for the sun, or at least the daytime. Being outside is there, it's free. You say, not yet, huh? So now set yourself up to start going into a more user-friendly, holistic lifestyle. And it sounds simple because these are subtle energies that we're working with. Now somebody brought something up real good. If this knowledge was out in ancient times, how do we lose it? Because it's subtle. When knowledge is subtle, it could easily be lost. Because right now there's a lot of things we're taking for granted until you lose it. I met a man in India, and he was, what, 60 years old, which is young, and he caught a stroke. And he's sitting there telling me about it. Now, just to walk on grass, he'll do anything if he can just have a day to walk on grass. And he's saying that the people that's walking around now and how he feels, I think they're taken for granted or don't realize how important this is. And this is what situation we're putting ourselves into. And what we're dealing with in the West is an epidemic of preventable diseases. Liver ailments, strokes, cancer, diabetes, heart ailments. And preventable mean they could have been prevented because they're missing the subtle principles that could have avoided that. This is where we're at. And the subtle principles is a technology that has a lot of power when you learn the importance of how to utilize it in your life. Because health brings forth happiness. I'd rather be broke and happy and healthy than wealthy and can't spend the money because you're aching and pain. The reason I could boldly say that, I already met. Right. I was enjoying the guy's boat more than he was because his body was hurting. Could I use your keys for the boat today? Right. He couldn't because of health. And this energy is free energy. We hear this term now, free energy. But we keep thinking about the battery packs for our cell phone and stuff like this. But you are the first wireless technology. Now, dealing with the human being, you're going to make a transition from an earth animal to an air animal. Now, notice how I still use that term animal. The other animals in nature, right, they're doing their thing and they have amazing abilities on what they're doing with the same consciousness you're utilizing. We just have an extreme consciousness. We learned how to use it extremely. Like they say in some texts, we could do things worse than the worstest animal, or we could do things that's far beyond even what our potential is right now. From breaking the sound barrier to doing every other thing. Just by popping a towel when you make it wet and to make that pop sound, that you just broke the sound barrier. Boom. So our mind is so creative, this consciousness we have, you can really transform yourself beyond to function like you're functioning right now. But don't think about being food free. Think about your health first, and food freedom is a byproduct of a desire if you fail to bring that in your life of that experience at that time. What got me through this experience, just to tell you real, people talk about liquids also. Liquids is just another form of energy. And yes, there is a liquid journey, and I got a YouTube channel you can look on that talks about that, because that's another state you get to. When you don't have a lot of mucus in your system, your mouth is connected to your anus. When you don't have a lot of mucus in your system, you won't feel thirsty. That's why people who's into a lot of fasting over a period of time will tell you about the third day, hunger and thirst will decrease. When you start going into long fasting, you'll see all of that stuff coming on your tongue, that mucus, that's mucus coming up. When I start getting out, right.
כששמים כאילו במים, מצמים בכללי, אז זה יוצא ריח.
So again, this stuff is user friendly. You start working through those that mucus and stuff. Now I'm going to tell you, I had a liquid journey. The liquid journey is beautiful. Again, you don't need to push yourself. Now you don't want the heavier foods right now. I got past that because I like the new way I feel. But I love tasting, I might have a taste for apple juice or the grape mixed with watermelon. So you're having all of this fun now. Now you know the liquids ain't sustaining you, but you're having fun again with the taste. You understand? So a lot of people try to go food free with no eating or drinking, and I'm looking at them, won't you just enjoy yourself with something good to drink? They try to suppress it again and they have a hard time, bad experience. You're not trying to make the Guinness Book of World Records. This is what it's about. So again, I have a lovely time. You'll go to cafes with your friends. You don't have to alienate yourself. You can go to family get-togethers. When I was in the States, I was already on pranic. I left about 2 years ago. My aunt was having a birthday party. So instead of having myself being secluded, everybody was glad I was there. So I ordered a big pitcher of soda for myself. Everybody's happy now because now I'm connected. I know I could get rid of that. You understand? Mm-hmm. So some people take this idea to extreme, and you don't need to. Connect with the people because that was real nourishment, being with everybody else. I didn't have to get the other plates that they had of the dense food. That's them. So again, don't use spirituality in the name of it as a quote or a game to separate yourself from family. You're doing that to yourself again. And also your friends. I'm at a higher vibration now. I hear this all the time. Okay, really. All right. It doesn't matter. Enjoy yourself on this path because, again, you want to live the best life you possibly can live, and that's what nourishment is all about. Is this making sense again?
Yes.
Because we're creatures of pleasure, and pleasure does not mean hurt yourself. That's what we've been taught on the last process. Pleasure means that you can have a good trip and everything comes out good. That's what it means. That other desire was leading us to craving, and that was leading to pain and suffering. Like I remember when I was 20 years old, I used to take myself out to eat before I go party. You know, a 20-year-old, so I go to take myself out to eat, and I eat this steak. Now, when I look back on that moment, that was a good moment I had in that time and period of life. You understand? So, as you're having these moments of life, that's all they are is experiences. Now, would I want to do that now? I don't want that type of experience. I'm somewhere else in my development. Now, dealing with this sixth sense on how you feel, what got me to put the liquids down and start backing up from them was I got tired of using the bathroom. Every time you sit down, man, I got to pee again. Sit down again, I got to pee again, right. So you get tired of that. And that light bulb had to come. If you stop drinking so much, you wouldn't have to keep doing that. Oh! Right! That's what do it. So you're going to, I love the way that tastes. You know, you can play with it if you want to, but I don't feel like keep running to the bathroom like that. I got too lazy. I'm in a Wu Wei now. Wu Wei means the art of doing nothing. So now, you start going into another state of being where you don't feel like feeling like that. It's sort of like the heavier foods. Some people say, when the last meal that you ate? The last one I ate was 2017 with my son, and that's when he went back to America. We was traveling around. Now, mind you, I was already breatharian for a long period of time. We did this going away party. So me, I don't know what to eat. What do I want to eat if we're going to eat first going away? I would have got some big bag of chips. You know, like, oh, I missed that. So I'm eating, and I mean, we throwing down goodbye and had a good time. Now, of course, I'm going to be honest with you. That night, my stomach was like a snake, you know, with a big bowl she just ate. And I was like, man, I can't wait till this get out. This is awful. Right? So to stay eating again, that's what I don't want to do. Not at all. You got to get yourself used to that other cycle. There are some breatharians who do go back to eating. And again, there's nothing wrong with that. They might got a new experience, probably in a new relationship. And I guess it would be boring having a relationship where they're eating on the candlelight dinner and you looking at them. You understand? You're picking your life. Serious. That's how it works. So me, I set my life up for this because, you know, just to tell you personal things in my own practices, you know, I'm celibate for number one, so I ain't got to worry about taking no woman out to eat. What's my birthday present? Where we going to eat at? So I ain't got to worry about that. My son is grown, so I ain't got to say, now let's go back to that. Okay, I've been on this path 19 years and my son is 20 now. As he was growing up, I had to realize when you got a child and you got a family, those moments of eating is very important. That brings the family together. Does this make sense? And you can never get those moments back. Take advantage of that time. So I decided to eat every other weekend with my son. That was our weekends. And yeah, my body was prepared for it. It ate too. So we ate those weekends and we was growing up every other weekend. As he got older, and he didn't really want to hang with dad no more to be with his friends, right, then that gave me the opportunity to work on my other experience I wanted. You understand? It's a desire. I wonder what it felt like to just leave that alone every other weekend. You had to get out of that new cycle. Now your body we're creatures of habits. It's easy to get it into a cycle. Should I say that? Yeah. And to break a cycle is something else. Say for instance, right now you kind of wake up the same time every day. And if you wanted to wake up an hour earlier, it'd be trying in the beginning, but over a period of time your body will get used to that new cycle on when you wake up. Just to give you an example. So just like I told you I was fasting once a week, it got to the point my body knew that this is the day we do without. Your body knows it. It has an intelligence to it. We were just looking at this too like it's dead, but it's not. This has a body intelligence, and actually your body consciousness is what you want to connect with. Your mind is the problem because it only knows but so much on what you can remember. Right now on your face, you got your grandmother's nose of 10,000 years ago because your body remembered. You didn't remember her. Your body knows who she was. So it knows so much information, this is what you start connecting with. That's why they tell you the internal teacher is inside. Now right now you can't really trust yourself because the body makes a good servant, but it makes a bad master. So everybody is allowing the body to be the master right now. That's why they're running into the problems. It's craving, it's doing all this stuff because it was put into that cycle. When you start putting into this other holistic cycle, ding, the alarm will come off. The body knows how to be food free. It knows how to get there. The first 3 chakras that I usually teach, and I don't have enough time for that, is the first 3. Your heart chakra on up take care of themselves. They're already connected with the universal forces that we live in. We really got to start having trust in ourselves when you start getting to these levels. But in the beginning again, it's our responsibility to put ourselves in this new cycle. At first you don't like it because it's doing something new, just like a kid. But now you also got to communicate. The person we talk to the most is ourselves. So start having this conversation with yourself. It's sort of like an adult talking to a kid at times. There was times when I used to take my body on a certain trip or a journey. I'll say, like for instance, I'm in a long distance bike ride. And now let me don't use that, that's a whole other example. But there was times I rewarded my body. If you do this for me, at the end of this weekend, we'll do this. Your body is looking forward to that moment. You'd be surprised how it will take you through things if you start working with yourself. Instead of saying, we're going to do this or else, the body ain't going for that because it's going to think you're trying to kill it. Y'all ain't connected it right. That's why they start feeding off itself. People lose too much weight. They don't know what's going on. Why am I not living on prana? Because you're still thinking in division. Your body is not coordinating with each other. The mind's the problem again. You want to start coordinating with yourself at a loving level. Even when I used to teach live and raw foods, I know a person ain't going directly live and raw foods from this diet to this diet. You're surrounded by that other ones. You're thinking too much fantasy due to the influence of energies around you. I tell people, once you have a live and raw food day, you understand, start out with that. Then start having a live food week once a month. Right. Get yourself into the process, any process, slowly so your body can get the new memo. When you start doing this, things ain't far-fetched no more. So usually when a skeptic comes to me and a person's talking about, no, a person got to eat, I don't get mad at all because I just understand they haven't, first of all, heard me or got the knowledge or haven't worked with themselves. There's something going on. But that's why it's so important for us to go around now and educate people and tell people what this is about and how this works. And it isn't the other thing you was thinking about at all. Of course, I've been in this 19 years. You know that scripture they say, you never know when you're entertaining an angel. So that means I'll meet people on the street sometime, we're talking, and they don't know that this guy even eats. So you could be meeting people all the time. You don't know what they can do. You're just looking at the universe based on your own perception. So this is good. Any questions?
Did you got any disease, fever?
I'm glad you brought that up. Whew, good question, because this is a health message. She said you get any diseases, any fevers. Now, what got me on a holistic lifestyle in the first place was health. Back when I was going out, helping everybody else, doing all these things, and my health started getting bad. I started gaining weight, my blood pressure started going up, pains all over the body. So when I started leaving that diet alone, going and start learning fasting, my health improved. Now listen to this message. Now, I had a job at the time that had good health insurance. So every year it was mandatory for you to go get a checkup. So it was good for you to go in the doctor's office and he could see your weight loss, what you've been doing. Ask the question, because these are humans too. Oh, I've changed my diet, I'm doing this and I'm doing that. Everything checks out on the numbers. Now, since I became food-free or on a pranic path for 19 years, I don't even catch a cold. Keep in mind when you blow your nose during season changes and all this, that's mucus coming up out the body. Your body does that because it's trying to help you. We're so connected with nature, so it ain't about you have to connect with nature. You're already connected with nature. So when you catch a cold, runny nose, spitting up in the morning, that's mucus coming up, clearing energy blockages because your body's already hooked up with the matrix. So I haven't caught a cold in 19 years, and there's no sickness or diseases. Blood pressure will check out, but blood pressure again. When a person comes in there with high blood pressure, what does the doctor say? What you eating? Do you smoke? Are you drinking? Lose some weight. Go exercise. Just that basic. There was a young man on social media one day put a picture of himself up. He was 200 or something pounds, and I guess he lost 30 pounds. And he said, hey everybody, my blood pressure is normal. That's a science. He lost weight. But we just look at that as just, well, okay, a lot of people do. That's important. That's the pranic lifestyle. This is what I'm talking about. He felt good about himself. This is a health message. Now the food freedom part, again, don't let that scare you. That will become a reality when you start bettering your health where it's at right now. If you can't see it, don't look at it. Just look at from where you at right now. Do not let these things that's preventable, that can be prevented, overtake you and overtake you because you got the tools and the resources, you can gain the knowledge to not allow that to happen so you can have more time in this realm. When the time comes when you want that other experience, this is why I'm giving you these keys. You can't create something if you don't know that it exists. Sort of like back going to veganism, where it got beat up when it first hit society. There was people who honestly didn't know due to their programming, because they was in school, they had the old food pyramid, the meat group here, this, there. And I remember I had a relative one time, they handed me a plate of food. See, I got all the food groups on here. They did, I remember it. And I make sure this is served all the time. That's what you grew up with. So now, learning this new pranic knowledge, this is why we have to teach thoroughly like this, on what it is and what it isn't, so it won't be mythical. It's not somebody who's special and they anointed by God for the monks up in the mountains. Everybody's connected with the matrix. You have energy centers in your body. You have an energy flow taking place. And they've been telling you this. A sickness usually shows up energetically before it shows up in your physical body, before it manifests. So we got to keep that in mind. You'll learn more about that the more you start really dealing with yourself and dealing with these frequencies. Year after year, we're dealing in this realm, and we're actually getting stronger. You're getting more radiated every year you live. The old concept was the more you age, the less your energy start going down, but not in this age. When you start working with these energies, the energy goes up now. When you start learning how to balance them out. Now let's tell you about this feeling state again. It's just like how I'm sitting here now. I'm sitting just like everybody else, but I've been meditating over the years to where my body's in a meditative state right now. All meditations usually tell you to get in a relaxed, comfortable situation, with your body comfortable. As soon as you do that, the energy automatically starts flowing through the body because it's a good conductor of energy. We got cosmic energy automatically coming down on us all the time, and you got energy from the earth automatically coming up through the body. These two forces is coming through this conduit of energy. When you relax and rest the body, then that's when you start going into the mental part, From there, you want to go to the intellect. From there, you want to go to yourself as you deal with the meditative principles. But the first principles is always relaxation. Even yoga, you know, you bend into it, relax, relax, breathe into that area to clear up those channels. Pretty soon you stick with it, you can burn further. Tai Chi, you slowing it down. No matter what form of art you're using, you're working with energy flow again, breaking up these blockages. So again, learn much as you can about energy work, get your favorite meditation that fits you, and start seeing how you're working with it. Don't beat yourself up on foods, and watch yourself grow. But now, since this food freedom thing is out, this ain't going to be the last time you heard it. Not the age we are now. It's wide open. This is just basically holistic technology. When you work with the sun and know how to use it, that's solar technology. Same thing. You're using the same energy to charge up with, just like this cell phone. When you go to sleep at night, that's what you're doing. You're charging up. You went into a meditative state. That's what you're doing. You wake up refreshed. Now, if you're having trouble sleeping at night, people ask me all the time, I'm having trouble sleeping? And I don't even need to ask them what their lifestyle is. Stop eating at night. When the sun goes down, stop eating. Oh, okay. You'll see some type of improvement. Start tweaking where you at so you can sleep better, have a better life, and all this other stuff. And the way you know you're getting more prana, your health is improving, is you'll feel like you got more energy. You really ain't going to gain more energy. You're just balancing it out. You're going to sleep less, and your thoughts going to be a lot more clear. All types of stuff is in the package. So what time we got about? Because I don't want to take up too much.
6 minutes past.
Oh, perfect. Well, I've been doing this so long, I got good. Any more questions?
Yes. We talked about before about the sixth sense.
Yes.
That you do something in your life, you see this is not good for you, you want to stop it. Okay,
right.
This is the first, and then you have all the time something that takes you back to your habits. And how do you do like the process of putting things behind and putting the avocado behind and go to the next level? And
I'm glad you said that. Now, one thing for sure about eating, a person's probably not meditating or doing nothing else in life. So you're eating and saying, how am I going to break away from these habits? But when I picked up a new habit of meditating, boom, and being consistent with it, working with that energy flow. That's what you're doing. When I talk about meditating, I ain't talking about you got to go see bright lights and stuff like that. This is basic. So now I got this new routine in my life. It made its way in my life, and here's the food or the bad habits. It could be smoking, anything else, drinking. This habit is here. Don't worry about it. But this is here. Stay consistent with this. One is going to balance one out over a period of time. Pretty soon that new habit will start decreasing more and more, and you'll be able to transmute the energy. Now that word transmute, look at that. Look at this. Energy can't be created or destroyed. This is one of the laws. But it can be transmuted into something else, transformed. So it's sort of like when you have a certain desire for something, you're not going to end that desire. That desire is going to transform itself into something else. That's what you want to take place. People are having trouble trying to kill a personality or a character that is them. It just needs to be redirected. Sort of like I knew a man when he was growing up, he was kind of aggressive. Right, he was real aggressive. But when he went into spirituality, they showed him these images of something that is passive. So that always turned them off. I'm not like that, I'm aggressive. Until I came along one day and said, well, you could continue being aggressive. It's just redirecting it. You know, don't chase the boys and beat them up no more. Now, you know, build that and build that. Oh, okay. When he redirected it, he became one of your most spiritual powerhouses around. Redirecting the energy. You ain't got to kill that character because that character you have is there for a reason. That's why they give us that kill the ego. What does that mean? Uh-oh. That's a problem. How are you going to kill something that's you? That's part of you. And if you try to kill it, that's where the fight is at. What's happening is the ego is just redirecting itself into a new desire, a new habit. One habit is going to take the place of the other one. But the other one must be established first. That's why I'm giving you these principles. If that's not established, the other ones still have dominance. It's sort of like a government that's in the power, and you don't like the government no more. The government is just says our thinking. Our cells is like a collective community of an individual you. Each cell can eat, it can sleep, it uses the bathroom, and mates. Each cell is like an individual person. So you got this new idea. So this new group of cells feel what you want to do and what you're trying to do. But they're not strong enough to take over the other cells yet, because the other cells still like those other habits you're saying. I'm glad you brought this up. Now, in order for them to overthrow the government, they're going to need support. They're going to need support coming from the inside. That's going to be from us, giving them that support. And the external support they need is going to be something, so at least a teacher or some teachings that you can focus on, because whatever you feed your mind is nourishment. You're going to need that external support to come together until this regime gets a lot bigger, to where it start taking over the other cells of the body with that new idea. That gets people all the time. They're not consistent. So the whole thing about this is consistency. It hurts my heart all the time when I see people, give up here and there. And not just everybody got their time. That'll take place. Don't be hard on yourself, but just try to stay consistent until that new regimes get bigger. When it get bigger, you'll know it. That's where that new sense come in. This won't have, like that avocado, it don't taste the same no more. Somebody else took over inside. It don't taste the same. That's what it's loud and clear. Nobody ain't got to tell you, and it didn't come from here. It came from here. That's what you was talking about. When is it going to come from here? When it comes from here, that's when you know it ain't going to come from here. That's that sixth sense. But in the meantime, that other thing that you're trying to go to, that other possibility, must have some establishment. Just keep working with it the best you can until this other one gets stronger. This is self-realization. This is work. The self-inward work. You're building something. You're creating something within inside you. Anybody else?
We are talking about life energy.
Yes.
In Chinese is chi.
Right.
In Japanese is ki.
Right.
Ancient Egypt, ka.
Right.
And it comes from the Hebrew word chai.
Right.
You know chai?
Right.
Chai
life.
Is life. And prana comes from brana. Please create.
Right.
In Hebrew, brana.
Excellent. Give them a round of applause because we do that. This is usually in my lessons, starting out how all the cultures got the word, they're just using it differently. From the prana, from the chi, from the ki, from the ka.
It's all Hebrew.
Right. We can even use ruach. Absolutely.
There's only one God.
Right. And this is everywhere. It's universal. This is why I'm glad you brought that up. We're starting out dealing with this unified consciousness, this unified chakra. Oh man, because I just had to do a thing about how breatharianism is not a religion. Because people immediately want to put it in their corner. This is where it comes from, it's mine. As soon as you did that, you separated yourself. Boom, it downloaded the energy. But when you understand it's freely given, it's everywhere, it's everybody's. Every nation, tongue, race, everybody is connected to this matrix. This is what brings in the unified consciousness that's going to sustain you. That's all it wants to hear. Right. It's listening. The universe is listening. My wish should be your command. You want to be separate? But when you want to be unified, he's bad. There's the nourishment. That's all it's saying. Oh man, thank you so much for that. Any more questions? Oh man. Now this is good. What we're going to do now is work with some of this energy. So what we're going to do, we're going to do a guided sitting down Qigong exercise. Get this energy flowing. And it's flowing everywhere. And then we got Lena Shemesh. She's here with me tonight. Did I pronounce that right, Shemesh? See, I'm getting it. She's going to do the sound healing with the Tibetan bowls and also the gong. Now, listen at these sound and wave healings so you can really appreciate them. The lower bowls give off a lower frequency, or a higher frequency, and bigger ones give off the lower frequency. Because our body got frequencies, different frequencies all around it. So when these frequencies come into the body, it's actually help healing our energetic body that's coming up off of us by sending off these strong sound waves. Because keep in mind, we're sound and light beings. Now, sound is also light. So even using this gong as we're going through these meditations, all you have to do is relax. You don't have to do nothing special, and allow the sound vibrations to do the work for you. This is awesome.
Like you and the team.
Me and the team, right. That's all you got to do. Let it do the work for you. That's the oneness frequency. See, all of this knowledge is user-friendly. It's really not far-fetched. It's about a person understanding it and taking advantage about utilizing these principles. That's why it's called self-cultivation. Let's take that word cultivation. That's sort of like what a farmer uses. He has to cultivate the soil. Just because you planted the seed don't mean you're going to get the fruit the same day. You put the seed in, you cover it up, you pull up the weeds, you water it, you make sure it's in the right environment, keep checking up on it. See a weed growing, you pull it. Storm comes, a log got over it, oh no, right. Take care of that seed until it gets strong enough. And that's what you got to do with yourself. Cultivation, and then you're cultivated to another level of understanding where you're functioning totally different. It's also done with the tree of life with all these cultures. The serpent, they got the, what, Kundalini in India. The serpent going up the tree here with the Adam and Eve story. Absolutely. Even in the medical field, they got the caduceus with the serpent coming up there. It's the sign for health. When that energy flows with no blockages, you got perfect health guaranteed. Did I just say that? Now, of course, I got people back where I grew up with will say, well, it runs in the family. Well, it did when I had the same habits. That's why I had high blood pressure. When I broke the habits, I don't have it no more. So therefore, I had to learn about energy flow. So therefore, this is user-friendly again, and in creation want us to be healthy. That's his constitution. Because there's only one law, and the law is pleasure. Ooh, did I say that?
The law is what? Pleasure?
Pleasure. Right. You're living in heaven. That's a consciousness. A unified consciousness. Me and Lena would say every day we wake up, we're still in heaven. We never left. You know, because I've been over her house for the last week here in Israel. She's been real good about letting me stay there. And we've been in heaven every day. Right. Where is the enemy coming from? Before, it was always inside. The way it's perceiving the earth. But the more you start working on this consciousness, this is going to be the sustaining factor. It really ain't got nothing to do with the techniques. It's the thought process that all nations automatically been talking about. But this is the age where we're bringing this right back to feel and live this frequency. So right now, I'm going to guide them in a meditation first and then we'll start.
one minute, רק תזכורת, לפני שנתפזר, יש את התרומות, הם כאן על השולחן הקטן. אז...
And we got Alpha here. We're not Alpha. Hava. Hava. I gotta get the ho, ho, ha, ha, ha. Ho, ho, ha, ha, ha. Ho, ho, ha, ha, ha. Yay! That's the laughing therapy. I'm gonna get that down packed and start using it. But that's the energy again. Get these things to moving. So right now we're going to start out with a good Qigong, and then we're going into the Tibetan healing bowls, and we'll bring that in. Oh, matter of fact, yeah, absolutely. So you're going to do the bowls as we're doing it, or the gong?
Just a little bit sound. All
right, good. She'll do the sounds also as we're doing the Qigong, which would be great. You'll start becoming an energy junkie soon, like me. Hey, and here in Israel, I'll be going to all the high energy places. I'll be like, oh, I gotta go there, feel this energy. All in the caves and everything. Yeah, we're doing it.
The Holy Land.
The Holy Land, right. Holy, whole, to be whole. That's what you want. That's what makes you holy, the Holy Land. Let's cultivate the Holy Land. Everywhere you go is the Holy Land now. Holy, holy, holy. The holy temple. Boy, this is good. All right. And for the Facebook crowd, I'll let them off now. We're about to start our meditation. I enjoyed y'all.